I want to talk to you about how my anxiety used to run my life and now it became Gerald and is my publicist. Before I had the tools to regulate myself, anxiety was ruling my life. It was hypervigilant, making sure that it kept me safe even though there was no danger around. It would keep watch over any emotional changes that happened around me because I needed to figure out if I was safe to feel or to just be me. And it would basically be on alert. It was like anxiety and inside out, just running around like a crazy. Everything was dangerous. And then I realized, all right, I have to do something because this anxiety is ridiculous. So I decided to create some ways to regulate my body. And one of the ways I did that still allowed me to check in with myself was to create a waiting room of all of the concerns that go on in my body. So I had a desk, put my desk in, I had paperwork, I had numbers to give, and I had all of the concerns line up right in front of me. And every concern or everything I would worry about would get a face, would get an outfit, would get a name and a number, and be asked to go sit down. So anxiety was always first. And anxiety became Gerald, a probably mid-60s man who's just really wired. Like he's had 17 cups of coffee every day. And he was wearing a brown suit with a brown tie. And I thought, yes, this is perfect, Gerald. So I said, Gerald, here's your number. Go sit over there. And I would do this to every concern, everything that I feared, everything. And it gave them a space to still exist because they were going to exist, but it wasn't right in my face. It wasn't just all swirling around. And I realized that Gerald would not go away because he's going to be that person that comes and asks, what number are we on? Am I next? I've been here all day. And so I thought, all right, I need to be able to work with Gerald instead of trying to keep him away because it's not working. And so Gerald became my publicist. I run things through Gerald. He's aware of them, but he's not allowed to hit the emergency button because not everything is an emergency anymore. And so this gives Gerald something concrete to do. This gives Gerald an opportunity to be a part of the stuff that goes on in my brain, but also it gives Gerald an opportunity to be helpful. Because is some anxiety necessary to function, especially in jobs? Sure. Gerald reminds me, hey, you have a podcast to prepare for, but there's no more emergency or urgency behind the request. Gerald reminds me, hey, you have this due, or we have paperwork to do. We just can't ignore it. Yes, Gerald, I get it. All right, I know. I'll get to it. And so he's become more of a reminder and notifications rather than this really ridiculously annoying man in a brown suit. And, he's changed his outfit. He's done a little bit better. Obviously, I know that this is a ridiculous way of regulating. But does that matter? No. Because does it work for me? Yeah, it does. And I do this with my daughter, too. Her concerns end up being poo-poo face, poo-poo, whatever, because that's just what we're into right now. But it gives us a way to breathe that allows our concerns to exist because they're still valid. However, it gives them a space to go and wait until they're called, until there's actually concern for it. And that's how Gerald, who was formerly anxiety, is now my publicist. If you got anything from this or you learned anything and you want to learn more ridiculous ways of regulating your nervous system, follow along for more. Okay, I love you. Bye.